The thing I'm most curious about with this question is how many of you have actually learned function notation in school? You're going to see a lot in the PSAT and certainly on the SAT. The SAT, by the time you're in 11th grade, when you're taking that, you should know what function notation is. But this is a PSAT meant for 8th and 9th graders, and I just wonder how many of you even understand what this f of x and f is defined, f of 7. Do you even know what that means? Please put it in the comments. I'm really curious how many people actually know this stuff when they're taking a PSAT in 8th and 9th grade. Now, the good news is it's really easy. So if you don't know it, I can teach it to you very simply. This f of x is not f times x. F is not a letter in the same way that x is a letter, or that y is a letter. Together, the f of x kind of represents the y coordinate of a point. But what we are asked to do here is substitute 7 in for x. Notice that the 7 is in the parentheses. That's the same place where the x is on the other side. So that's a good way to remember this. If something's in that parentheses, that is your x, and you can just substitute that in for all the x's in the equation. You can even substitute other things that aren't numbers. We'll get to that in harder questions, but basically, if we have this here, all we're being asked to do is, what is f of 7? F of 7 is equal to 80 minus 6 times 7. So now it just becomes an arithmetic thing. Follow PEMDAS. We do the 6 times 7 first because multiplication happens first. So that's 42. 80 minus 42, I believe, is 38. But this would be a case where I would just go to my calculator to be sure. I mean, it's the only one that ends in 8, so that's probably it. But 80 minus 42 is 38. So there you go. Do the subtraction last. So that's it. But there are other things that we could be asked. They could ask us, for what value of x is f of x equal to 7? And that's much more wordy, and usually when you have those wordier questions, that means that you're going to find x by substituting the 7 in for the y, for the f of x. So that doesn't happen here, but just to show you, for what value of x does f of x equal 7? If we wanted to solve that, 7 is equal to 80 minus 6x. And now we got to do algebra. So I'll save your time on that, but that would be the setup. And notice now the x is still an x, and we're solving for it by doing the kind of reverse of everything. I don't think that gets us one of these answers. But actually, you know what? Let's just do it. 7 minus 80. 7 minus 80 is negative 73 is equal to negative 6x divided by negative 6 divided by negative 6x is, close, but not an answer, 1.7. So it's close to 13. Many of you might pick that just because it's close enough. But yeah, I doubt many of you are even going to do that. The easier thing here to do anyway is just put x as 7 and call it a day. Hopefully, though, now you know what function notation looks like.